Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today we are thinking about anti-cyberbullying. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a thinker, and that is something that we really need to be thinking about. So thankfully here I have Shweta here who's going to be helping us thinking about this in a whole new light so that we can really, what I mean, prevent this from happening. Man, this is really bad. So thank you so much for coming on to my show, sharing your time and your perspective on this topic. And let's just dive right in. When you hear the words anti-cyberbullying, what does that make you think about?
Well, let's first even look at what cyberbullying is, right? So we're all kind of, I think we're all in our lifetime at some point have been exposed to bullying, right? Bullying. What
Yeah.
is bullying? I mean, it's negativity hurled at you in the form of hate, in the form of being doubted, being silenced, some kinds of judgments being passed on what we're doing. So, I mean, it doesn't have to go as far down as even body shaming for that matter. I mean, it could be simple things that we do that we get judged about. And literally, with the digitization having taken over our lives, cyberbullying is now so rampant because that same negativity is getting translated to our digital world, and now people are hurling the same hate on online, on social media platforms, and every other platform that we converse with digitally.
Oh,
So when we
absolutely.
talk about anti-cyberbullying, really you know we've got to think about how we can rise above this hate, right? Like, how can we let people express themselves, which is what these social media platforms are for, right? We're here to express ourselves and not be judged.
Yeah.
And more than likely we might be, but so what's the solution, right? So do we take it on ourselves and burden ourselves with that hate, or do we rise about it? And if we have to rise about it, how do we do it? So I guess that kind of sums up anti cyberbullying, as you mentioned. uh, you know as responsible civilians, citizens, and just people, humans.
Yeah.
How can we uh, allow people to express themselves and not be so harsh and with hatred, with the intention of hate at the core.
Oh, absolutely. I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's nice to know that when you think of anti-cyberbullying, you think of it at all. You know what I mean? You think of all of it that really ties into what really is anti-cyberbullying. It has to do with bullying. It has to do with hate. It has to do with discrimination of every form and every way coming at you in a digital platform that now allows it that worldwide people can hate you. Worldwide people can gang up against you over something
Exactly.
so small of like, oh, they don't like the way you're dressing. They don't like the way that you sound. They don't like the fact that you're whatever that you want to claim to be. And it is very frustrating because it's like you said, it's a form of us displaying who we are, putting ourselves out there in a vulnerable state, you know what I mean, to expressly free ourselves. And we have to come to an understanding that there will be people out there that have this hate for no reason. You know what I mean? For no reason. And it's sad because some people just hate because it makes them feel good. And then they wake up in the morning like, yes, let me drink a hot tea of hate. You know what I mean? For no reason. And it's ridiculous. And sometimes it has to do with something deeper inside, that inner trauma, that inner pain that when they feel like they've been burned, that they're just gonna burn the world too. And it's like people who put themselves out there, they always are going to be faced with that type of trauma. But I'm glad that we are talking about just preventing it because you know what I mean? If we think about what we're posting or what we're commenting on or what we're seeing, we can just take that second to reflect like, okay, how does it make me feel? And is it worth, if I'm feeling upset or if I'm feeling this pain, is it even worth even sharing that out? Because it might hurt that person. You know what I mean? We don't have that empathy out in this world to have that
Right.
understanding of like that consideration. And do you think that that's a problem too, is that there's lack of empathy in the world?
Totally. I think with social media being so openly accessible now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can pretty much be behind that screen and say whatever they want, even if
Yeah.
if it's at the cost of the other person losing it. And
Yeah.
to your point, a lot of times the trolling, that's that cyber that's
What
another
it
word
is.
for
Yeah.
cyberbullying, is coming from a place of hurt, as you said. It's coming from a place of insecurity, pain, something deep within that
Mm.
creates this sense of insecurity, that you're not able to see someone else excel, or you just want to throw something out there that's going to put them down. Um, not to say that, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be open to good feedback, or positive
Yeah.
reinforcements, but it's a way you can tell there's always
Yeah.
a fine line.
Hmm.
And the trolls are not in it for any positive reinforcement. They're in it for, as we know it, just hurling their inner bitterness. um and definitely there is a lack of empathy there. And I think it's a lack of empathy for oneself, because
That's
a
true.
lot of what we say is a reflection of who we are. And so if you are seeing yourself in bad light, more than likely you're going to think the same about other people, and that's going to come through in the way you comment, or
Yeah.
the way you respond or react, to
Exactly.
in social, social media case, it would be like to a post or a reel or whatever.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that sense of negative judgment comes from a place of lack of empathy, to your point. And I think uh, the core at the core of it is coming from a place of pain,
Within
and
you.
it requires some healing. These people really need to go deep within, and for themselves need to inquire, why am I so cynical, or judgmental about what somebody else may be doing while they're just expressing themselves.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you brought that up because it's a very valid point. Because if anybody is experiencing bullying or experiencing it in the cyber form or whatever form that you're experiencing the bullying, because you can experience bullying at work, you can experience bullying at school, and even in your family, I mean in relationships. I mean, man, you can get it anywhere and everywhere. So it's like we really have to take into consideration, like you said, like it's coming from a place within. We really do project out what's in our heart. And if our heart is dark and it's just ugly in there, then we're gonna like represent that into the world as well. So it's like we have to remember, like you people think they have shields up and they think that in the cyber world they have this anonymity to just be anonymous, you know what I mean, by pretending to be whoever they want to be or just not having anybody see their face. But in reality, we still see your heart. You know what I mean? Your heart is exposed completely where we know that you're dark. And sadly to say, the people who don't understand that concept that it's coming from a place within and it has nothing to really do with you personally, like once you've already checked your box, like of the feedback, like and constructive criticism, how you can utilize whatever that's being said to improve yourself. But then it's like you said, it's that fine line. Like once you know, like, no, I've crossed my P's and Q's. Like I'm good. Like this has nothing to do with me. Once you have accepted that knowledge, you really have to take whatever that's being said after, like a grain of salt, and let it just roll right off because you don't deserve to carry that hate that somebody else is projecting out that's from them. You know what I mean? Let
Right,
that stay
right.
with them. You know what I mean? And I want to bring up the point like how you even wrote a song about anti-cyberbullying. You know what I mean? And I think that's beautiful because you're really showing that this is like a mission. You know what I mean? Other people need to really think about this and even in song form.
Yeah, yeah, no,
So
totally.
what made you like decide to write a song about this?
I mean, I have been observing this not only in my own personal life, but people around me, and especially the youngsters, because a
Yeah.
lot of the youngsters, they're buried in their devices. I
Yeah.
mean, a kid today wouldn't would be growing up in company of the devices more than the people, or
Yeah.
uh, other folks around them. So, and I think a lot of the youngsters, at least, and people in general, are taking this kind of negativity to heart. And it was just, I just wanted to be the voice to the voiceless. I want to
Yeah.
empower everybody that's ever been bullied, and that's, I think that's everyone, every one of
Yeah.
us at some point in life will have gone through it. And we may have even questioned ourselves, and we
Yeah.
may have second guessed everything we've wanted to do, or want to do. And uh, it's just trying to shut down those voices, in our head, outside of our head, and basically help people realize that you've got to rise above this hate, and uh, truly believe in your own true potential. And
Yeah.
beyond that, uh, whatever anyone else might say shouldn't matter that much. So it's really to empower people, be the voice. At the same time, let the youngsters understand that social media is a great place to interact and express yourself, but don't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
And uh, do things that you truly believe in, and live your life to your potential, which I think as a human being we have unlimited potential that even we are
Yeah.
not aware of.
Oh,
So
absolutely. I think that's why I really enjoyed it. I actually listened to a couple of your songs and I really like the message. You know what I mean? The point. You're really trying to bring awareness and make people think about things that, that we stay quiet in and we just pretend that we accept and we're playing it off as if it's normal. But in reality, it's not normal. We shouldn't have to accept this hate. We shouldn't have to accept this submission. We shouldn't have to accept just going with the masses or just flowing with the wind and not asking questions. Like, if you have a question, stand up. If you have a concern, speak up. Use your voice. You know what I mean? Use all that you are because, like you were saying, like we are human beings that our capability is beyond our own understanding. I mean, we barely understand our capacity of our brain. I mean, of course, that means that we're barely going to even understand what we are capable as a human being, as an individual. And I think the biggest thing is that, especially for these young folks, that they they are pressured by whatever other people are seeing. You know what I mean? You grow up with that observational learning. As a baby, you're just learning from your surroundings, learning from your environment. And when you grow up in a toxic environment, you know what I mean? It really does hinder your point of view of the world, it really makes your sense of understanding of the world very different. You know what I mean? Very harsh. So it's like having these songs available for the youth and for everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody can benefit from this. So it's like it really makes it surreal because it's like, okay, if you start seeing it enough, then it's like, okay, maybe I should pay attention. You know what I mean? Maybe I should think about it. So it's like, I think this is the reason why people really need to start broadening their mindset, you know what I mean, of the possibilities of really where they can go. Like, okay, if this person is saying that I can't do it or I shouldn't do this, then maybe I should. You know what I mean? Maybe I should find out why. Find out why for yourself. You know what I mean?
right,
I
right.
think that's the biggest thing.
And I think also that why shouldn't come from a place of hate in response to hate.
Exactly.
It should come from a place of inquiry, and it should just come from a place of self-belief, right? So self-confidence, self-belief, all of those are uh, so much more important than having to listen to somebody tell you what you can or can't do, right?
Yeah.
uh, and to your point, my mom used to say your ear is your womb. you know it's in the sense that what you hear in terms of music or what you read, uh whatever your senses can grasp becomes your womb, because that's where all the stuff is getting accumulated in your head, and you start to perceive life,
Yeah.
from what you hear and what you see. And that's why they say, right, as artists we have a responsibility to, if you're making music, make music, write lyrics that can benefit people, empower people, and
Absolutely.
bring a positive change. And not just have to go back into the dark world that 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 is anyway so much around us these days.
Oh, absolutely. And I think you can do that, reframe your mind for anything you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, where are your intentions? You know what I'm saying? Like, if your intentions are not in the right place, then don't do it. Don't even do it because then it's not even worth it. You're just harming somebody else and you're harming yourself. So it's better to always reflect, take a time to just pause and ask yourself, why am I doing this? Where are my intentions? Do I really want? Because if it's from a selfish motive, then there's no point for it. You know what I mean? Or if it's for revenge, for hate, for, you know what I mean, for spite, anything like that, it's not even worth it. You need to just sit with that, you know what I mean? And reframe and figure out how you can move in a manner that's more purposeful, how you can move in a manner that is more helpful to yourself and to others. You know what I'm saying? Because when you start helping yourself and you start helping others, you really stop focusing on the negatives of the world, because at the end of the day they're always going to be there. But that allows you to reposition your focus, reposition your frame of mind, reposition your heart. And I think if more people seen those type of obstacles and those type of negative, points in our lives, then we would be able to move as a humanity in a whole different manner. You know what I mean? Where if somebody actually fell, we wouldn't laugh and point and watch a video about it. Instead, we'll actually help them out, asking if they're okay and if they need some help or where they're going. And you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Change the focus. So it's like we really do got to think about this in a whole new light. So I have to ask you, what is one of your biggest pet peeves in the world besides this?
Hmm. Um, I think we're just growing to become less human and
Yeah.
humane about just everything going on, right? I think uh, with the dependency on devices and just artificial intelligence, they're great, good for advancement, but I think we're forgetting more and more of who we truly are, and the humane aspect of it is kind of fading away,
Yeah.
which is a pet peeve because again, humans are capable of so much more, and it's the humanity, the humanitarian aspect of being human
Yeah.
that is unique about us. So
Yeah.
um, I just hope that, with one of my other songs dealt with the subject of busyness, and it's the same thing, right? I mean, uh, we're in a world where people are so busy with their devices and just not having that human connection
Yeah.
and interaction. So that's another one of my pet peeves. And yeah, so
No, I
it's
agree.
definitely
I think,
something
yeah, I think it is
that's
a very,
changing a lot
it
and very
is.
rapidly too, very
Oh
rapidly.
yeah, it really is. I mean, we see it in society all the time. When you're out and about, what do you see? You see people on their phone. We really are losing that aspect of humanity, of just being human, because we don't even know how to interact with one another
Yeah,
anymore.
I mean, you see
People look
people
at
at
you crazy.
restaurants
Yeah,
and
I'm a
people
type
are
of
on the two
person.
people right in front of each other on their phones in a restaurant. Why are you even at a restaurant?
Yeah, like I don't get it. Like I'm not that type of person. Like I'm a type of person that barely even has my phone on me. Like people get mad at me because they assume that I'm one of those other people like, "Oh, I'm always on my phone." Like, no, I barely look at my phone. I barely have my phone, and if I don't have pockets, best believe it's not going to be anywhere near on me. You know what I mean? Because it's like sometimes that we have to remember is like we have to focus on now, right now in our moment, because that's all we have. Like I did 1 year, like when I noticed that I was getting really obsessed with my phone and really obsessed with social media and everything like that, I was like, okay, let me detox it. So a whole year I fasted it. I was like, I'm not gonna go on my phone. If it's emergencies or if it's just text only, I deleted all of the apps. Nothing was on it. It was just like basic phone call, text, that's it. And just with that, I looked out more. Like I seen what you saw. Like at the doctor's office, everybody was looking down on the phone. At a restaurant, everyone's looking down at the phone. Just walking by the beach line, people were still looking down at their phone. And I was just like, no matter
At the
where,
airports, literally bumping into each other.
exactly, like it's
That was like one of the
anywhere.
that's what that was one of the opening scenes of my previous single, "Why So Busy," which
Yeah, people
questions.
are so busy and they're always finding more ways to just overpile themselves, and they feel like, "Oh, I don't have enough time." No, you have plenty of time. The problem is that you're bad at time management. Let's be honest, we overextend ourselves way too much. We make promises that nobody can keep anymore because you're too busy trying to worry about what's going on with the world that you're not really worrying about what's going on in your
Yeah,
heart.
yeah. I mean, that aspect of being mindful, to your point, right? Being
Yeah,
in that present
exactly.
moment, right? Like right now, I'm talking to you, and I have to be fully here and now. That's when I can
Mhm.
have a meaningful conversation with you. If I have to be thinking about what I'm going to do 1 hour later, or
Mhm.
worrying about who's texting me, we wouldn't be having this
Conversation.
discussion. So yeah, technology is has empowered us, is good, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to converse like this, right?
Yeah.
But there's got to be a limit to everything, right? And
Yeah.
who is drawing that line, and who's going to make that, uh, you know, make those decisions about how much is, overuse, or how little am I going to use it? It's people. I mean, if we give it all our life, like if we make it our life, it's going to be our life, and so
Absolutely.
the people around us obviously are not, that'll become our priority. The
Oh,
people around
absolutely.
us would lose their place
Yeah.
in our life. So I think
Oh,
that
yeah.
that aspect of being constantly busy and mistaking productivity to,
Yeah.
being busy, that's something that's also that has changed, and it's something that also bothers me a little bit. Because it's also very, it can be very addictive, like social
Yeah.
media. You could, like you were saying, you could totally get carried away by all the stuff that's out there on the
Oh,
device.
absolutely. Like people don't realize, and then it leads back to like our main topic, bullying. You know what I mean? People get addicted to bullying. People get addicted to talking bad about other people and just trolling other people. Like, I mean, I've seen catfish, and this they caught a lady who admitted of having over hundreds of fake accounts just to mess with people because she was tired of how people would treat her in the real world of how she looked, so that she did it on purpose to hundreds of people from all around the world. She said that she would even Google other languages just to talk crap to other people in other languages. And I'm like, the effort that you're putting into to troll the world, you can put into yourself and start loving yourself. You can put it in
Right.
yourself and
Right.
start reconfiguring what's going on. You know what I mean? Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can really do great things. Like you were saying, if we really tack into the human that you are, the individual that you are, then you can really be anything you want to be. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
can be something, but you can't be anything if you're so focused on something else that's not actually producing fruit in your life. You know what I mean? If you're a tree and your body's a tree, would it really produce fruit? You know what I mean? That's something that you really
Right.
got to ask. And because if you don't think your body will produce the fruit to create something beautiful and healthy and delicious, then don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't do it. Like our life is truly empowering on other things and other people. So it's like us having this conversation hopefully will empower others to really think about this and how they can really flip the table and okay, why am I feeling like this? Why am I going to write this comment? Or how can I put it more, how can I put this energy back into myself, and how can I be more mindful, like we were talking about as well? Like being more mindful is, oh my goodness, is something that I'm practicing every day because it's literally changing my life. And when I see other people, I'm like, hey, just so you know, just you don't got to worry about that. It's all good. You know what I mean? Like I try to keep it too because so that they know it's okay. So yeah. And it sucks that time is really catching up to us because I feel like I could keep talking to you about this and other things. I mean, like goodness, girl, I'm loving the vibe. So I guess my question is, what are some lasting words of wisdom that you can leave us off with to keep on thinking?
I'd say, to all those victims of cyberbullying, uh, keep your heads high, rise above the hate, the negativity, believe in yourself, in your own potential, and you can remove all that noise, whether it's coming from inside or outside, and just focus on, whatever your life goals are. And then to the trolls, I'd say, I hope you find peace. Thank you for the free publicity. No, just kidding. I hope you find peace, and I don't think. I mean, more with awareness, and more and more people hopefully understand that we are not no longer scared of the trolling. We
Yeah,
shouldn't be,
yeah,
and it's coming from a place of negativity. So I do hope that the trolls turn around as it is in our song. I don't know if how many people have watched our video, but in the end, it's a nice it's a good storyline that's kind of projected in our song's video, where the girl that is being trolled, finally finds her own inner beauty, realizes that life is great. And so keep that positive spirit alive, and rise above all the hate and haters.
Yeah, exactly. I think that is a beautiful note for everyone to really think about the ones that are getting bullying and the trolls that are out there just trying to take notes. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to know more about Shweta, because how could you not? How could you not with this conversation? It has been so enlightening and so moving that you're gonna want to check out her songs. You're gonna want to check her out. I have her Instagram down below. If you're listening in audio or already on YouTube, you go in the description and you'll find exactly the link so you can go directly there so you can hear all the great stuff that she has to offer the world so that obviously you can continue on thinking, right? So with that being said, bye.